you write it on top of the table. I say it again, table caption are written on top of the table and figure caption are written below the table. So when you write a paper for publication or you write your report, when you are writing a caption for table, it should be written on top of the table. For example, this one is your table, and the caption is Table 1, comparison of the results obtained by the double stripping voltammeter method and AAS method for determination of lead and cadmium in real seawater samples. So the description of the table or caption is on top of the table. Now you're not doing table. This time you're doing graph. So how do you caption your graph? As I said, to write the caption, you have to write it below the figure. And when you read the journals, you know, the publications, the scientific literature has a lot of figures. And I want you to look at those, you know, references. You can Google using Google Scholar, and you can get a lot of published paper and look at the figures. And those figures are properly captioned. And this caption should be like easy to understand. And when you read the caption, it leads you to, you know, whatever is in the figure. For example, this figure 4 has this caption, typical flow injection responses obtained by repetitive injections of caffeic acid standard solutions and 2 samples of olive oils. Caffeic acid concentration A, 7. So that means this one corresponds to 7. And B is 5, and C is 2.5, and D is 1 milligram per liter. And then you have E and F as described here as well. Then experimental condition as in figure 3, but because there's no figure 3 here, you don't actually need to do that. But when you are writing a caption, it should be understandable, it should be complete. You know, you don't just say typical flow injection response, and then you have A, B, C, D. What are those A, B, C, D, and E for? Okay, and then if there's no scale here, like in a graph, then you can write the scale like this. So that means this length is 1 minute. So this means this is 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and so on. So that length corresponds to 1 minute. And that length also going up is 1 microamps. So this is 1 microamp, 2 microamp, 3 microamp, 4 microamp. So for A, this is around 4 microamp. But without that, there is no information, right? So this is how you generate your graphs. Another graph here. This is cyclic voltammograms of A, 0 molar, and B, 1 by 10 to the minus 5 molar caffeine. So as you can see, A and B are properly identified here. And when you read the caption, you know exactly that this green line is for 0 molar. And the red line is for 1 by 10 to the minus 5 because it's identified in the caption. And all other information should be included in the caption. Okay, this is habit forming. All right, I want you to develop that habit of writing intelligible and sensible caption whenever you are reporting a figure. So when you are writing your lab reports and you are presenting a graph, okay, be sure you caption them properly. And this is how you caption. Okay, you should include as much information as required. And then there's another one. You can actually put several boxes of figures. Because if they are related, you just label them, say A, B, C, and in the caption here is not so clear, but you can actually explain what are in A, B, C in the caption. So this is possible to have multiple information in a single graph. Okay, because in my assignment for today, there is, I think, question number 3 and number 4. There are several information. And instead of producing one graph per information, which is a lot, then you can actually put together all those information in just one graph and you have a one caption. But those captions should clearly indicate what are those graphs for. So this is another example, potentiometric response of, okay, so this is how you generate a caption. So if you are using symbol, for example, you're using circle, rectangle, triangle, and square, and diamonds, and triangles, here, then be sure you identify them. What are those? And as you can see from here, it's clearly mentioned that the potentiometric response for PAGAGCl is circles. So those circles are for this, and the diamonds are for this, and so on. Okay? So from now on, I want you to develop that habit of writing proper captions. Okay, now let's go back to our assignment notes. The first question is, a new polymer is used as standard for turbidimetric assay. A series of polymer solutions are prepared and their turbidity and conductivity data are measured and shown below. So first, how are you going to get this number to Excel? Okay, let's do it. So this is Excel. And I'm going to just copy this. Okay, maybe what I'm doing is dependent on the PDF reader that you are using. I'm using Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. And probably your computer is using another Adobe Acrobat Reader, but it doesn't matter. You can do trial and error. And whichever works for you, you can use that. But this Adobe Acrobat Reader is free. So if you want to use what I'm using, you can just go to Adobe website and you can download the Adobe Acrobat Reader. The Adobe Acrobat without the reader is not free. But the reader is free, so you can freely download it and use in your computer. So right now I'm using Adobe Acrobat Reader. And what I did is I highlighted. If you cannot highlight that, probably you are not in a proper mode. So you right click and it should be the select tool. All right. By default, sometimes it's in hand tool. So if it's in hand tool, you cannot select. All right. I cannot really select that. But if you right click and you select tool, now you can select. And once you have selected, you can copy. Okay. Copy. Now it's in the clipboard. So let's go to Excel right away and paste it. All right. If I paste it, oh, it's not the way I wanted because it's just one line. All right. So I have to undo that. If I go to file, home and paste special, there are no choices. It only pastes as Unicode text and text, which actually gives the same pasting technique, which is just one line. So all the data are in one line, which is not good because you cannot graph a one line. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that. So I'm going to go to Word, single space document, create. Okay, so this is a Word. Because in Word, you can actually paste that special, paste special, and you can paste it as formatted text. Okay, you see that? And if you highlight, this is actually in a table, home. Where's that? Table. Yeah, it's actually a table already. And so once you exported the information from PDF to Word, you can just copy. Again, copy, Control-C, and then go to Excel. So we have a two-step process in putting the data into Excel. And then when in Excel, you just click Paste. And you have the number here, exactly the same as they are arranged in the assignment note. So this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, and you have two y-axis. Now this one is like a rectangle S. So, but we want a micro Siemens. So micro S is the actual unit for the conductivity. So you need to do some editing. So maybe you remove the same symbol there and replace that with MS. Why M? Because when you convert the M to Greek letter, symbol, okay, symbol, then it becomes new. And now the conductivity has a proper unit, which is micro Siemens. Turbidity is NTU and concentration is ppm. Okay, I'm going to say it again. If you want to get the data from your assignment note, you just right click, go to select tool, and this is applicable only when you are using Adobe Acrobat. If you're using another PDF reader, maybe you can just highlight it and you can copy it. But you should do some trial and error on how you can get the number from Acrobat to Excel. In this case, I copied it. All right, I highlighted first and then Control-C, copy. And then I first go to Word and paste it there as special, paste it special as formatted text. And then it gives me that. And then after pasting in Word, then I copy it from Word, Control C, copy, and then I go back to Excel and paste it there. Okay? But because I already copied it, I'm going to delete this. Okay? All right? Now, how are you going to convert this into a graph? Of course, you can always write the caption. I've shown you an example of caption, so you should be able to write your own caption. Now, you would be very careful when you're writing a caption. Don't copy, because I would know when you copied exactly the same caption from your friend and you have exactly the same figure, I'm going to divide your marks, because that means you work together for this one question, so you didn't actually work on your own, but you can learn from each other, but be sure you work on your own, okay? As I said, in the exam, you'll be under time pressure. If you don't know how to do this, you'll be suffering a lot. So I suggest you do it properly. You take time to understand, to learn how to do this, and then you will thank me because you know how to do things. And you can apply this in all your other applications, when you're using Excel, not only in chemistry, in biology, and all other modules that require the use of Excel. And I'm giving you more time, actually, because if this is the first time you are using Excel differently, then you need to learn more. So I'm giving you more time to submit this. So the deadline for your assignment number 2 is on Thursday. Thursday is a holiday. So you have the whole day on Thursday to do all these 4 diagrams or 4 figures. So you are not submitting it today, not tomorrow, but on Thursday. So you have around 3 or 4 days of learning how to do this properly. And if you have questions, you can always go back. If you are recording my lecture today, you can go back to my explanation and try to understand how. WhatsApp me or email me, and then I would be able to reply to your questions. Okay, now we have managed to get the data from the assignment note to Excel. Now, how do we convert this into graph? What you do is you just highlight, including the legends, okay, the title and the data, and then go to insert chart. And there are many ways by which you insert a chart. You want only the points that scatter, you have the points and the line, you have only the line, and so on. And you can do trial and error here and see what happens. You see, you see a lot of ways by which I can actually put it there. So I'm going to choose this. All right, now it's blue and orange and gray. It's not black and white. So how are you going to modify the figure to satisfy the requirement? Draw a single graph in black and white. Another thing is, you see the orange, the conductivity is flat. It's 0. It's because the values are so small, you can't see it. So your graph should be meaningful. When I look at this and you submit it this way, I would think that this is all 0. It doesn't make sense. So you have to have a secondary y-axis. So this is your y-axis, this is your x-axis. You should have another y-axis in such a way that the figures here are properly shown. Okay, and I'll show you later on how to do that. Anyway, I found a better way of editing a graph, and you don't do that in Excel, because yeah, definitely you can do that in Excel. You can double click and it gives you this format area. But I'm going to show you how to do that in PowerPoint. Okay, so I highlight that chart and then I copy, all right, Control C, copy, and then I go to PowerPoint, right? By the way, when you are working on this, be sure you save this, because if there's power interruption, suddenly you lose everything, and you can actually rename it, like rename, this is exercise 2, question 1. Right? And then for question 2, you can use another sheet here. Then right click, rename, exercise 2, number 2. Okay, so for exercise 1, this is your working area. And if you save it, then it's actually safe. Okay, you copy that. I already copied, so it's in the clipboard. And then I go to PowerPoint. Now this is my working area in PowerPoint, and I just save it there. Now, what do you do while in PowerPoint is to make the size appropriate to how are you going to put it in Word, all right? So this is how you're going to adjust the size. If you have a very small space, then you put it that way. If you have like a whole space for the whole page, then you do it that way, okay? So assuming you want this size, so you put it there, okay? Now, look at the mouse, what I'm doing. If you want to edit any of this, you see, we have to convert this into black and white figure. And you want to see all the figures, all the numbers for the orange conductivity. So there's a lot to address here. So definitely you need a lot of modification for this figure. Anyway, this is my technique. If you click on anywhere, right, and double click, it gives you this automatically, the format chart area. That means you can format the chart. And these chart options here, if you do, there's another a lot of possibilities on what you can do. You can change the chart title and so on. But when you are giving a caption, you don't really need a chart title. So you can actually delete the chart title. Okay, I'm going to delete that because I don't need that. And okay, first let's solve the conductivity. All right. So what you do is you just click on that. All right. And then I'm going to click on the vertical series. Series turbidity. Turbidity is the one that doesn't show, right? So I'm going to see that. And right now it's in the primary axis, the same way as the turbidity. No. That should be conductivity, right? It's no. Sorry. I highlighted turbidity. I should highlight conductivity. So do it again. All right. Now it's the series I'm referring to. It's the highlighted series now is the conductivity. I want conductivity to show here, right? So I'm going to make that a secondary axis, all right? You see that? I'll do it again. Right now it's 0. And then I highlight it by clicking on the line. Okay? And then you click on secondary axis. That means you're going to make that a secondary Y. You see, this number suddenly appear. All right? Before there was no number in this number. So this number on the left is for turbidity. The number on the right is for conductivity. And you can see the conductivity very clearly. Okay, so that's how you convert another y-axis into a secondary y-axis. Now, how do you make them black with proper labels? So first of all, let's remove the grid lines. Okay, so when you double click the lines, then you can actually deal with those lines. And you see this line? Oh, no line. And this one here? No line. So I just get rid of the lines. And this one here, you want to make it black. Line. Solid line, black. Now it's black. Again here. Solid line, black. And here, solid line, black. Now I have changed the line colors to black. Okay. Now you see the marks here, the tick marks are corresponding to these numbers, but there's no tick marks here. So how are you going to add tick marks here and tick marks here as well? All right. So you click on the line. And then tick marks. You see, the major type should have tick mark outside. That means it's coming out of the line. You see that one? So that's outside. And the same here. Click on that one and look for tick marks here. None. Outside. Now we have tick marks. Okay, let's change the numbers because they're too small. So you click on that one. All right, I click on the number itself, and you can actually go to home and change the font to bigger font. See that? I'm making it bigger so you can see it properly, and the color should be black. Right, and then remember the color size, the size, it's 16 points. So you have to be consistent. You have to make this 16 points as well, the other one. So I'm going to click the mouse on that number and then go to home. And I'm going to make this 16. and same color. 16 and same color. The same here. Home 16 and black color. But it actually changed. All right, so I want 0, 2, 6. All right, so you have to change the units by 2. And probably maximum of just 10. Right? And now we have solved the axis. Now this one here, we have to make it a black and easily understood. All right, so I'm going to click on the line. And suddenly it changes here. All right, that's the magic of this one. You don't have to choose from the menu, because the moment you click the line, that's the one you're going to deal with, and the menu appears on the right side. So first you deal with the marker. So you click in here. First, the marker, we want the marker to be maybe a circle. All right, so it's a circle, but we want a bigger circle. Right, and then we want it black. So fill color should be no fill, but the border should be black. Okay, and you see now it's black. All right, see that? But I want it to be, you see, I don't want the orange line to see it, to go through it. So I click again line, and instead of, okay, let's go to marker. Instead of fill, no fill, I'm going to use a white fill. White fill. It's different from no fill. With no fill, it's transparent. With white fill, it's opaque. You see that? It looks better because you don't see the orange line going through the middle of the circle. And then I want to change this black to black, the orange line to black. All right, again, click on that. And then the line here, and then solid line to black. All right, and then probably you want to change the size, maybe 1 point should be enough, because 1.5 is too thick. All right, so it looks better now, right? Now we can do the same here, but this time we're doing it differently. So again, we go to marker, maybe you want a square. Okay, I'm going to choose square, and the same size, almost the same size. All right, and fill is solid fill, which is white. So it's not transparent, and the border is solid line black. Okay, oh, sorry. Marker option, I chose the wrong one. It should be square, that one. And that's too big. All right, it should be 10, all right. And this one, the blue line, I have to change that to line black as well. Black, which is just 1 point. All right, you see? And this one here, I can just remove this because I don't need that. And now I'm happy with this, but you see there is no label here. So you can actually edit further. Then you can say conductivity. Maybe make it all caps. Conductivity, NTU. All right, and the other one, copy, paste, and you edit this. Oh, sorry. That's not conductivity, that's conductivity. Conductivity. And this is, oh no, that's not conductivity. That is supposed to be, what is that? Turbidity. The other one is conductivity. And the unit for conductivity is microsiemens. Right, small m. And that should be symbol. And you position it, proper angle. All right. And this one here is your concentration. PM. Now, you're ready to snip. But okay, if you commit a mistake here, like you realize that you have a wrong spelling or there's some problem with your data, maybe it's better if you save it, right? So save your working PowerPoint so you can always go back, okay? So you can actually paste it as a PowerPoint element, or if you want to preserve the ratio of all the fonts and all, like you're happy with the way they are written, then probably you enlarge it in such a way that it becomes maximized in terms of its position in the whole screen. So I'm going to maximize it, okay? So I can still see everything, and then I'm going to snip. New, all right? And then I make sure that this is actually clear, no underline, nothing. All right, and then edit, copy, then I go to Word, and okay, I can actually delete this. Of course, you have to write your report number 2, and then your name, and then your registration number, and so on. And then number 1, then this is your graph, okay? Then you can actually rescale it, and then you can write the caption. Then you have your number 2 here, and then I insert another figure. Now, how do you write the caption? When you are writing a caption, you click on that, okay? Click on the figure, and then go to references, and then insert caption. Insert caption, where is that? Insert caption, and this is a figure. All right, okay. Then you can actually type here, figure 1, plot of blah, blah, blah. And if you are not happy with the font size, you can always increase the font size. Okay? And if you want to make the figure like bold, okay, that's good. So, and then you just type whatever you want to type based on the information given to you. And that's your answer for number 1. All right? Now, let me give another example by doing question number 2. So this is question number 2. Titration of 0.1 molar ferric chloride with standard solution of reducing agent was followed potentiometrically by measuring the potential while adding the titrant. Data are as follows. Again, you have to do in black and white. So highlight again and copy, go to Word, remember that, and paste. While pasted, copy again, and go to Excel. This time, I'm putting it in the next worksheet, and then paste. As you can see, this is one set of data with volume and then potential. Another set of data, so they're just arranged to save space, but actually, this set of data is a continuation. All right, so you can actually move it like that. You see how I do that? Sorry. To move a cell, you just highlight and then move the mouse until it becomes a cross with arrow, and then you can drag it to where you want it. Right? And then you can delete all this. Yo, all right. And then you have now your volume and potential. You just highlight them. Insert. Maybe this one again. Oh, that's your titration curve. Beautiful. So copy. And again, you can edit in PowerPoint. All right. Now, Again, you have to make it a black and white. So, and you don't need this because you're writing a caption, so you don't need that title. And you know how to convert this to black, right? And you know how to remove the grid lines. No line. No line. Oops. Oh yeah, because we only need this one. The border, solid line, black. Oh, not that one. You see, if I click here, it's the format, the plot area, but if I click here, it's just the, so you do some trial and error, click wherever you like, and then see what happens, okay? So you need to convert this to white, black color, and the line should be black, and this also black, and this should be black also, okay? So by clicking on the figure, you can actually change that. So first the marker, if you're happy with the marker, but you have to convert it to black, you may like to just like a black fill, or maybe black fill is okay, and then no border. So you have those lines. And then for the line, solid line, which is black, and just 1 point. Yeah, maybe that one is okay. So you have a very good looking titration curve now, right? And then again, when you are happy with the way it looks, so you go to home and add some caption, some text for the caption for the X and Y axis. What are those? And then once you are happy, just like this, then you can snip. And again, if you made a mistake, once you have snip that in Microsoft Word, okay, assuming that this is already correct. So new, and then I'm going to snip this, edit, copy. Oh, sorry. Delete, edit, copy. It should be in Word. Okay, Word. So you can scale, and then click on that one, insert caption, and then write your caption. Now, what I'm saying is, if suddenly you realize that, oh, something is wrong, I'm not happy with the gray color, so I want to make it black. Instead of panicking because you save it, so you can always go back to the PowerPoint where you save it, and then you can edit, okay? And because this data came from Excel, you need to save the Excel file as well. So when you are doing something like that, you have saved your Excel, you have saved your PowerPoint, and you have saved your Word, and at the end, you save your PDF, and the PDF is the one that you submit to me. No need to use the table, only the figure, okay? No need for the table. Just the figure. Somebody asked, do we also need to paste the table inside the report? No need for the table because the table is already given. So just write the figures. Include the figures in your report. So just like here, I only have the figure. And the important thing in this exercise is the figure itself and the caption. So for number 2, you paste the new figure and the corresponding caption. Okay, do you have questions so far? So far, so good, huh? So you can actually try to do it yourself and then see what happens to Excel when you click in PowerPoint. I thought when you edit your figure in PowerPoint, it's easier because you can clearly see what happens. And PowerPoint also helps you, see, it helps you to, by this menu on the right, it helps you to change whatever you want to change. Now, going back to assignment notes, this number 3, water quality data in 4 local areas are compared in the table below. Okay, there are 4 kampongs with 4 data. So it's up to you. I'm not going to give an example because there are many ways of presenting this. The idea is when I look at the figure, I should be able to see the difference between the pH in kampong 1, 2, 3, and 4, and also see the temperature. So you may have various graphics combined together in one figure, just similar to my example earlier. But when you write the caption, it should be able to, to give the information what are those graphs. And so you just need to present this. So if you want to write the pH, to plot the pH on its own, and then you just highlight these two. I cannot highlight just that, but you can do that in Excel, right? So maybe I'll copy and then go to Word, paste. Copy. Paste. Oh, something is wrong. Oh, because I have a figure here. Yeah, I think you can do this exactly the same as I did earlier, but it's up to you. I'm not giving an example here because I don't want to, I don't want to give too much information. I don't want to spoon feed you. I want you to develop your initiative here in creating something. All right. So it's a challenge for you. That's why I'm giving you more time to convert this data into a nice looking graph that tells me that in Kampong 1, this is the pH, that's the temperature, that's the nitrate, that's the phosphate, and that's the dissolved oxygen. And these numbers are different. So you should be able to see from the figure that you have differences. And for number 4, food composition for milk samples. So these are different types of milk. Full cream, skim milk, reduced fat, low fat. They have different moisture content, different protein content. Of course, fat content is different. The highest fat is in full cream. So you should be able to convert this also into a graph. And when I talk about graph, right, you can actually have various ways of presenting. For example, you want this insert. Okay, you may have column. Okay, or that's histogram. Okay, let's do that first, and then you can change this to format data series. Ano, you can change the graph. I'm trying to do it differently. You can just highlight and insert whatever graphs you want. Okay, this is statistics. This is histogram, more scattered chart. All right, so that is column. Okay, and it gives you some, some preview. Okay, the one. Okay. All right. So if you want all this in number 2 and number 4, you can actually do a combination of that, or you can do a pie chart, especially in protein in milk. You can do a pie chart, and this pie chart can have different concentrations of moisture, protein. But I want you to use your imagination in converting this table into very nice looking graph. That's your challenge. Okay, so you don't just like give the number, and then it has to be meaningful. Okay, and this one here, you can convert this into, you can use any other way of presenting, graphing, not just with scatter and line. Okay, you can have a bar graph, you can have a column, and so on. So there are many choices.